Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host, Kirk Day, along with my co-host, Nick Miller. We got a bit of a different video again here for you today. We're going to be theorizing whether the Anaheim Ducks could in any way potentially pick Matvei Michkov over Adam Fantilli. We're going to be going over all the reasons why we think might happen in this video. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff from us. The draft is very soon, which we're going to be talking about today. You're not going to want to miss that. Very, very important draft for the NHL. Probably the best draft since 2015. It could be even better than that. We don't really know yet. We're going to have to see. But you won't want to miss what we have to go over that, which is now in just about a month. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. But now is the time that we're going to be talking about, like we just said, Adam Fantilli could be not going second overall. Is that a possibility? Could the Anaheim Ducks be drafting Matvei Michkov instead? Got a few reasons here why it could be. I'm going to say straight up right now, I think it is not a good idea, and I think they should stick with Adam Fantilli second overall. I'll explain why, but Adam Fantilli is an incredible player, and like the past few years, it's pretty much just been a debate between Connor Bedard and Matvei Michkov. A couple years ago, they were fighting for first overall, maybe like 2019, 2020. We didn't really know much else than that. We only knew that it was them, 1 and 2. But over the recent years, stuff has changed. We've got guys like Leo Carlson, Adam Fantilli, Will Smith, all kinds of those guys coming up. And now we know what the situation was happening with the Russian players right now that I'm not going to go too much into. That we don't really know what Russian players coming out of the draft could do. Like, we don't really know what will happen with them. So Matvei Michkov's status kind of dropped a few spots, but he's still an incredible player. You can see by his stats here. Those are Adam Fantilli's. This one's here. In 2019-2020, 26 games played, 109 points. Like, those are the stats that we were seeing that are like, wow, this kid could be a first overall pick, if not second overall, fighting with Connor Bedard. But he's been incredible. And, Matvei Michkov is still probably one of the better players in the draft this year, but you just don't know what's going to happen with them. And we have Adam Fantilli here, still an incredible player, going to Chicago Steel, then going to University of Michigan, getting pretty much 2 points per game, then winning the Hobey Baker. Incredible player. Now, Nick, let me know, what do you think could happen with Matvei Michkov? Do you think there's a chance he can go for second overall?
I think after Connor Bedard, I think he could go anywhere. I think there's a possibility that... Well, first of all, let me just say this. I think Matvei Michkov is clearly the second most talented player in the draft and should be up there fighting with Connor Bedard. Maybe not as good, but fighting for him as skill. These guys, I remember watching them in I think it was U16 a couple years ago when Canada played Russia. And that was a great game fueled by those two players that were going head-to-head in that game, Michkov and Bedard. Personally, I see Michkov going fourth to... I think it's San Jose has the fourth pick. But at the same time, I could see him going second. I would have him personally going second. If Russia wasn't in the situation they currently are, he would be going second overall, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll pull up the top 10 here, like you said, as well. You can see after Bedard and Fantilli, on many mock drafts I've seen, it's kind of been anybody anywhere. I've seen Leo Carlson as far down as 5. I've seen Matvei Michkov up to 3. But unanimously, pretty much of what I've been seeing is Bedard and Fantilli 1 and 2. Now, you never know what also happens with that Columbus pick. They said, I seen earlier today, that it probably likely isn't going to be traded because there's too many good players that they could have a choice from. But you never know. Someone might move up. Someone might move down. Someone might want to move up a few spots. Someone might want to move out of the first round if for some odd reason. But you never know. But Matvei Michkov, it's like you said, it's a case to you don't really know what's going to happen with them, with the situation. But I can see him probably going 2. But probably not. I can see him going 3 for sure. I can see him going 4. I can see him going anywhere after that. Because I think if you can get Matvei Michkov at 5 or anywhere below, that's a steal. But it's the situation as well with the Anaheim Ducks is that they have a lot of centers. They have Trevor Zegras. They have Mason McTavish. And then if you get Adam Fantilli, that's another center to add to it. Now, it's a lot easier to convert a center to a winger than it is a winger to a center. We've seen that in many examples, and it just don't work when you want it to. But if you get Adam Fantilli, that is another center to add to your incredibly depthy center core. You can move him to the wing if you want, but if you get Matvei Michkov, you're going to stick him on the wing. You're not going to play him at center. That's pretty obvious. You can never have too many centers. Someone gets kicked out the face-off, got power play, penalty kill, all those situations, it would work. We've seen both shine at every situation and every game they pretty much ever played. You've seen Adam Fantilli, he's proven he's been playing with men as well in that World Championship that we just seen. absolutely fantastic goals. His point total don't show that he played, fantastic. But he played good. You got to think about this kid is what? How old is he? 17, 18, and he's playing with NHL players, and he's playing well. That's the thing as well. But also you have Matvei Michkov here in the MHL, which is the league below the KHL, I believe. Is that right, Nick?
I'm not actually sure on that one.
I think it's like what the AHL would be to the NHL in Russia.
Probably.
His playoffs is 7 points in 5 games. He's been playing well. He's also proven they're playing older guys, so it's really a case of who you want where. But overall, I don't think that Adam Fantilli will be going anywhere out of second place. I think it's 1-2 Connor Bedard. Then it's kind of anybody knows. Anybody's game. I can see Matvei Michkov going 3, sorry. I can see him going 5. I can see Leo Carlsson going 3. I can see him going 4. I can see him going 5. Just a case of who is going to be picking them and what they want. So what do you think in your final guess of where we could see Matvei Michkov go? Do you think he'll stay where he is, or do you think he can move up to second overall?
See, if I'm Anaheim, I'm taking him all day. I'm taking Matvei Michkov all day. Like, your team is not going to be competitive for another 2 years anyway, and that's when he can come over after this contract's up with St. Petersburg. But his agent and himself have made it pretty clear he will come over to the NHL after the whole contract expires in Russia, which I think is a huge thing. I think that's the reason that he's definitely going to go in the top 5. There's no way he doesn't. All I'm going to say is I think San Jose gets him. I think San Jose gets their guy at 4 because of just the way that the teams are right now. I'm pretty sure Columbus likes Will Smith. I'm not sure Leo Carlsson. But all I'm going to say is if Montreal has him on the table at number 5 and doesn't pick Matvei Michkov with him available, I will be furious. Absolutely furious. Because even if Kent Hughes picks him and he doesn't come over in the end, I will not be mad at Kent Hughes for making that pick because you take a shot at real, pure talent there at number 5, and I would love to see him come to Montreal, but I do think San Jose is going to get him at 4.
Yeah, he will definitely not drop out of the top 5. I can almost guarantee that. But just before we end the video here, what do you think about the idea, if Anaheim was set on picking Matvei Michkov, what do you think about the idea of trading down a few picks to get him? Do you think that's a possibility at all?
See, that's a little bit of a risk too, because then you're sacrificing a guy like Fantili, or there's a drop off of talent in my opinion after Bedard, Mitchkov, and Fantili. There's a little bit of drop off between talent after Adam Fantilli. Like, obviously those guys are still like top talent in the draft, but I believe Fantili's ahead of those guys. So if you trade down to say 4 with San Jose, and San Jose trades up and takes Fantili, then what happens if Columbus takes Mitchkov at 3? Then you're just going to be left with like Will Smith or Leo Carlsson, which is obviously not the guy you want. So in my opinion, I don't think they should do that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. That's all we got for this video. Let us know down in the comments below what you think will happen. I'm going to say I think it's pretty much Bedard, Fantili, and then whatever else happens. But we'll never know. We won't find out until draft day, which is pretty soon. Gotta say, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see that the stuff we have to cover about it, and leading up to the draft as well. We're going to have a few mock drafts. That's all we got. Make sure to like the video if you want to see more, and thank you for watching.